The video is about how we play a drama in our head, how we play a drama in our heart. And this drama is not even a reality show in television. It is a real reality show of our own life. Okay. And that drama has always three vertexes. Any drama, if it to be dramatic, we need at least three corners in a triangle. Generally, that triangle can be seen in two ways. The victim way of seeing the triangle is, one corner is me and I may imagine myself to be a victim. And when I say triangle, the moment I catch one edge of the triangle, other two edges come automatically, isn't it? If I pull the triangle as a victim, the other two vertices are already, other two edges, points are already defined by me. One edge of the triangle is called persecutor. A victim would always want a persecutor, you see. And the other end is what is called as a rescuer or an escape. And a victim would always want an escape from persecution, not resolution of persecution. Escape, a rescue from persecution. Am I really a victim? Guess what? It's up to me to see how I look at myself, how I look at this triangle, how I look at this entire drama of life. I will explain you the three vertices of a mistaken, subjective, wrong knowledge is, I am a victim, okay? I have been persecuted by somebody, and because I am in fear and because I am in insecurity, I need a rescue. So I need a rescuer. Persecutor need not be a person, rescuer need not be a person, but victim always has to be a person. Let me tell you something. Who is this victim? For this drama, I am not trying to give a psychological definition of a victim. Generally, a person who had some very strong desire, but the desire was not fulfilled. There was an obstacle, and that gave a big sense of defeat. A thwarted desire is generally how I start imagining myself to be a victim. Generally, I must have experienced some loss, you see. And then I am now sort of, when I am assuming myself as a victim, I am frozen in fear. I am afraid of responsibility, and I lose my empowerment as an agency. Which means, I think my experiences are beyond my control. I have no say in what happens in my phenomenal day-to-day choices. So I don't make decisions. I can't think I can solve problems. And I don't pursue what I want in my life. You see, that's the state I am in. And if I am a victim, I can become defensive. I can become over-submissive, over-accommodating. And I can also be passive-aggressive when there is a conflict. And generally, I am dependent on others for my self-worth. If somebody does not come and pat me and say, you're doing good, I don't enjoy what I do, you see. And generally victims can become very angry, victims can become very envious, they can start comparing and they can become envious. Generally, I feel very unworthy, or I feel very ashamed about my circumstances. All these are in part or in whole how I become a victim because of what I keep telling myself in my head, right? So when I am a victim, I need a persecutor, no? And I need somebody to hate, I need somebody to resent, I need somebody to peg my blame on, and that's the persecutor. It can be a person, it can be an event, and it can be a circumstance, whatever it is. And now I am a victim, I now peg a persecutor on somebody, and I need the third edge of the triangle, and the third edge of the triangle is I need a rescue, you see. And the rescue is typically what is called as addictions, you see. I can either do binging, all the flicks binging, or I can do shopping binging, or I get excessively addicted to substances. I can get addicted to stuff, etc. I always need a shoulder to cry on. So if that person who is a rescuer is a person, if the rescuer is a person, then that is the person whom I want to show pity on. me, you see. So I want to go and complain, and that person should always say, yeah, you're such a poor little thing, etc. And the moment the person tries to tell me something else, then I would start thinking that person does not care for me. If the person tries to empower me, when a person tries to tell me that maybe it is not the case, I become upset. And then I look for a different rescuer. And that rescuer can also become a persecutor now, because I trusted so much in that person doesn't care for me, that person does not even understand what I'm saying. And sometimes even rescuers end up being a part of a persecutor. You see, you get this triangle. Most of the serials feed this triangle. Most of the tear jerkers always would have a victim, either in a family circumstance, social circumstance, or financial circumstance. You know it, right? We have seen enough books and serials, etc. Soap operas. It always presupposes a victim, and it demonizes a persecutor, and the victim will have a rescue. And that's how the whole drama becomes a mega serial. And it is true for us also, if we don't carefully lead our lives, if we don't check this, the way I look at stuff properly. Now this is what is called as this has been very beautifully shown in 1960s by a wonderful, I think he was a psychologist and an art psychologist or something. Dr. Stephen Karpman is, I think, the name. Dr. Steve Karpman. And he brought in what is called as a drama triangle, and saying that a drama is complete only when at least there are three points which sort of interact with each other, right? And then it was taken by another great author called Emerald. I don't know his full name. I think it's called Dave Emerald. Okay, and he brought in this wonderful dynamic of how we start imagining life around us. At times we get so convinced with it, and we always want to see. We see what we want to see. So we always add data points to my own belief system of this triangle, that I am a victim, there is the persecutor, and there is an escape for me, etc. And then the story doesn't end there. How do I invert the drama to make me a creator and a master, not a victim? And this drama is called the empowerment dynamic by Emerald. How do I change the whole triangle, either in the vertex of victim, which is a little difficult, at least in the vertex of a persecutor, or in the vertex of a rescuer? All the three will change. The moment I change one edge of the triangle, the whole triangle changes. You see? Now let me look at how me as a victim would think. I would always think these things. This is the sign of victimhood, is what I think. Maybe I'm overgeneralizing, but I'm yet to get contradicted on that. A victim would always want what they don't want. Ask them, tell me, what's your problem? I don't want this. I don't want that person in my team. I don't want the person to talk like this. I don't want the world to be like this. I don't want the family to be like this. I don't want to be unhappy. So the whole perception of a victim is to escape and seek for some annulment of something which is negative. Why? Because if I feel that I can make a difference in my life, I would rather focus on something else, which is, what do I want? You see, that's a very empowering way to look at it, isn't it? Even when our Swamiji officiates some satsangs where people have prayers, he always would say, never make a prayer negative. The prayer has to be positive. Be clear what you want. Make it very clear. Feel it, touch it, hear it, see it, what we really want, and then pray. You see? So a victim, to move from victimhood to creatorhood, so that my other two sides of my drama, which is a persecutor, now becomes a challenger. So I need a challenge for me to be my best self. If everybody says you are okay as you are, which is acceptance, it gives me tremendous emotional strength. And then somebody challenges, you are capable of something more. Don't be complacent. Be accepting. You get the difference, right? Normal people like you and me who want to live a complete life and interested in spirituality, lead a happy life, and also find a way to develop love, bhakti, jnana, vairagya in my heart. So here, the Victims' transition happens when the way in which they talk to themselves and the way in which they aspire for what they need moves from what I don't want to what I really want. That's a big transition. What do I want? Which means they give a very nice example of a rubber band. You see, you stretch a rubber band. One side of it is where I am, and the other side of it is where I can be. You see, one is the current state, and I'm at ease with the current state because I'm accepting. And I have a need to grow in a future state. And that future state I define as where I can be. And when there is a stretch there, either I can move here, where I move from where I am to where I can be, or I can decide, where I can be is where I am. Nothing can be done. You see, victims move this way, and people who are creators would seek to move this way, which means where I am is also true. Where I can be is also true. I would like to bridge this gap because it's a stretch, and nobody likes to be in the stretch all the time, right? I need to somehow bridge the gap. And so a creator would start thinking, this is where I am, this is where I need to be, how do I move upwards? And then a persecutor becomes a challenger. Instead of looking at something as persecution, that's a very beautiful end comment given by one of our sisters in the group, where she very beautifully said, so this entire play of karma, kala, swabhava is to slowly make us gravitate towards our highest self, which is consciousness itself, you see. And now I'm not looking at karma, I'm not looking at kala or time, I'm not looking at my nature, swabhava, as something which is persecuting me. I am looking at all these three things as something which challenges me, which sort of helps me to egg on, move on towards the goal of attaining the highest. So even this little thing which you are talking about will help us in the spiritual path also, because that's how nature is a teacher to us. Nature is a neutral teacher. A student can choose to make nature a persecutor, Maya, persecution, or you can immediately look at Maya and say, she's teaching me a lesson, she's teaching me what to do, what not to do, and then look upon the aspect of Maya called Vidya. The same Maya also another aspect called Avidya. So when we look at the Avidya aspect of the Maya, we make Maya a persecutor. If we look at the Vidya aspect of Maya, it is a facilitator, it is a challenger, showing me the progress, showing me my pitfalls so that I can avoid in future, showing me what I am capable of by giving me discontent, benign discontent of what is, because I want to get to what I can be. I am not discontent with what is now. I am discontent with what is if it continues for me next year also, because I am not living up to my full potential of what I can be, you see. And so here, that which happens is neutral. I can either play the drama of victim, making nature, making people, making circumstances as a persecutor, and hence going and crying at the shoulders of some rescue, because we don't see that nature is not persecuting me, nature is challenging me to be my best self. Then the whole perspective changes to, I am a creator, I am going to create a future for myself. And for that I need a coach. I don't need a rescuer. I don't need people to pity on me. I need people to show me what I am capable of. I need people to facilitate my complete potential to make it manifest, you see. I need a coach. A guru is a coach. Guru is not a rescuer. A guru sees a Shishya as complete in itself. It is like a completion waiting to happen. And that is the reason why a persecutor always has a fear. The initial three drama, this triangle, victim, persecutor, and escape, or this rescuer, all the three are acting out of fear. You see, a victim is in fear, obviously, you know that. A persecutor is in fear of loss of control. Okay, I need to always control this person because I feel a loss of control. I feel a loss of my identity if I don't control this person. And a rescuer feels a loss of purpose. A rescuer thinks that it's my purpose to keep on consoling that person. And if the person becomes good, if the person grows, if the person becomes complete, then what will I do? You see the fear in all the three. Invert the triangle. When the triangle is inverted, instead of victim asking himself or herself, what do I don't want? What do I want to avoid? That person starts asking, what do I want? What do I want to become? How do I grow? And what can I do to grow? You see. And the persecutor becomes a challenger when the person asks himself, if I am a persecutor, I need to ask him, what is my intention here? Is my intention to cause pain to that person? Or is my intention to actually move that person and show that person that the person has the capability to become something better, to become something bigger? So what is my intention? So that's the question a persecutor needs to ask if we are in that triangle's vertex. What's my intention in this, in interacting with that person? And the rescuer's question for transformation is, what do I truly believe? Do I truly believe that this person is whole and can be whole even without me? A true coach would want to become redundant. A true coach would want to empower. A true coach would want to actually see, let me rephrase it. A true coach would already see the wholeness in a person, and he or she helps that person to see the same wholeness which a coach sees by that person also. I see that you are whole, you are complete, and I want you to see the way I see it, and I'll help you see the way I see it. That's a coach. That's why all great Mahatmas, in the first sloka of a wonderful sloka called Shata Shloki, our Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada defines a guru of an highest order. He says, Na kahe upama, says Tukaram Maharaj. There is no upama, there is no comparison to a guru. The closest comparison I can think of is a philosopher's stone, says Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. A philosopher's stone is a stone which can convert any metal into gold. So likewise, a person who is a kacha disciple, who is a very rough disciple, when that disciple comes to a guru, he or she, the guru, makes the disciple gold. But then Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada said, then that's not defining a guru properly. Na? Because a guru does something even better. Guru makes the disciple as he or she is, which means when this philosopher's stone of a guru touches a disciple which is, rusted steel, that steel becomes another philosopher's stone, you see. And for that I don't have any comparison at all. Which means a guru, a real guru, Atmajnani, Brahmajnani, Parama Bhagavata, the moment Sishya comes before a guru sees the wholeness in the Sishya. And the rest of the spiritual path is the guru's directions and all that is to make the Sishya see that wholeness which is already in that Sishya. That's the beauty of a perfect coach. And once the triangle changes, then everything remains same as it is. The way I believe, way I perceive, way I emote, the way I look, my perspective changes. I am no longer the victim, maybe of a loss or of an adversarial happening in my life or as of a person. I am a creator. Let that person or that event be as it is. I am going to see it neutrally. Now I am going to add positive color to it. I am going to see that person as a challenger. And I don't want a rescuer. I am going to request the person, please don't show pity on me, empower me, you see. Or I will find a person which empowers me. Instead of binging, I will find things in the same, books or, or videos, etc., which empowers me. I will binge that instead of this. And that's how I change my triangle. And that's what can in effect happen to us if we can change one of the vertices of the triangle. The other two changes automatically. In my way of perceiving my life, my reality show, which is far more important than other reality shows, is the moment I decide I am not a victim but I am a creator, I define that which challenges me not as a persecutor but as a challenger, and I embrace it. See, I don't resent it. And I look at the rescuer and understand that I need no rescue. I need coaching. I need empowerment. And that transforms the way I see. We can do a lot of things. And at least we should have the perspective to see that what can I do type of a perspective. Whether it happens or not is secondary. But my perspective I have to hold now, so that I can lead my life as an adventure. I can lead my life as a blessing. I can lead my life with purpose. And then for that I need coaching. I need help. Not to receive pity, but to receive empathy. To receive coaching to empower me. Emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. And my whole life seeking changes from how do I rescue myself and escape temporarily into addictions, binging, unnecessary chatting, etc., versus how do I make it purposeful so that it empowers me to lift myself up, so that I understand the stretch between where I am. I'm very much happy with where I am now. This is where I can be, and my whole life's journey is this wonderful tension between the stretch, so I move slowly from here to there. And that would make my life more purposeful, meaningful, and of course, in spite of what I have or what I don't have, it's going to make my life more a joyful journey.